Hey guys, I'm Phoenix here, and welcome to my, 2016 was not all doom and gloom video. Because that's what I see a lot of. 2016 was awful, all these celebrities died, Trump got into the White House. Yeah, democracy happened and celebrities died. That's pretty much 2016 in a nutshell, and that's all people will remember, unfortunately. Even though some good things happened, and Dr. Randmacam did a video on this, released it earlier today, and basically his words were democracy happened and celebrities died. But he also likened it to the 1980 when John Lennon died and Ronald Reagan got into the White House, i.e. celebrities died and democracy happened. That's pretty much 2016 in a nutshell, and nobody really remembers all the other things that possibly happened in 1980. Because that will always be the year that Ronald Reagan got into the White House and John Lennon died. And that's a shame, because you look at 2016 and you see all the doom and gloom about it. And actually, I would like to say that maybe it wasn't all doom and gloom, and maybe good things did happen. And the two that really sort of spring to mind are the breakthroughs in cancer research and the new safe confinement finally being put into place over the Chernobyl reactor. So, in the first case, I'm not really a medical kind of person, but this is just from what I remember. The T-cell research was into whether or not scientists could get the body's immune system to fight cancer, and they've already done some small studies on this with human trials. And basically, it's you take the T-cell, you take blood out of a person, and you also take a biopsy of the cancer, and then you teach the T-cells that the cancer is a threat. You then replicate these taught T-cells into their millions, and then you inject them back into the patient. And then these T-cells go into the body, and they see a threat, and so they attack it. The benefits of doing this is quite obvious. If you're using the body's immune system to fight cancer, then you're not having so many nasty side effects that you get with chemo. Chemo does an awful lot of damage to the body, whereas using the immune system, it's literally just targeting the stuff that's bad, ultimately. And it's been, the results have been reasonably positive so far. So, and I believe larger human trials are going to be going into effect in the next couple of years. So, yay for that. I think that's pretty good news. Of course, the other big news would be the new safe confinement that goes over the Chernobyl reactor, and I'll definitely be putting a link to this in the description because it is one to watch. This is the largest structure that's ever been moved over land. It is so big you can put St. Paul's Cathedral underneath it. It's an archway that's made out of steel and stainless steel, stainless steel skin with steel tubing as your structure. And it is just a very, very big archway that it has gone over the Chernobyl reactor. And it's got these doors on the other side, because they had to get it over the sarcophagus, which juts out a little bit. So they've got these doors that come down and are cut to the to the building, the remains of the building, so that when the doors have closed, then they can just fit a plastic membrane along the bottom of it, and then it will be a sealed unit. So, yeah, that's kind of epic. I mean, the epic things when you sort of start going down into the nitty-gritties of it, things like that they couldn't put it on wheels to move it in, because that's the most logical choice. You put it on some kind of like rolling stock. because the structure is so heavy that the bearings would overheat, shatter, and then it would be going nowhere. So instead they used Teflon pads on rails, and using a sort of inchworm hydraulic system to very, very slowly move this thing forward over the reactor. And of course it had to be built off-site because the radiation is so extreme that nobody can really go, work near the reactor. That's why the sarcophagus is so sort of bodged together, that it was very, very quickly assembled to try and keep everything that shouldn't really be outside the reactor, inside the reactor. And this thing has to last for 100 years. It's got a 100-year lifespan. So the paint that's used on all of the structural tubing will only last for about 15 years. But nobody can go up there to repaint it because of the radiation. So what they've done is they are dehumidifying all the air that goes around that section. It's sealed airtight, and then the only air that they'll let in there is pumped through dehumidifiers first, and then pumped up into the space between the two skins of the aluminium sheet. And even the cranes have been designed so they don't sway, because if you use vertical cables, they'll sort of sway from side to side. But if you use cables sort of so that the thing is tight, it's not going to move around. And then you sort of add a large counterweight as well, so that the cranes, so they've got little robotic arms on them with varieties of different tools that they can use, so they can deconstruct the reactor remotely, and then move the rubble to trucks where they can be decontaminated off-site. I think that's the general idea. They'll put them into proper sort of sealed trucks and then move them off-site to another facility that's going. I don't know if it's been built or if it's going to be built, where the waste will be reprocessed and stored correctly, rather than just being a pile of rubble in a vaguely sort of steel container. So, you look back at 2016 and you think, okay, so democracy happened and celebrities died, but actually some pretty awesome stuff did happen. So maybe it's not all that bad. And maybe no year is really all that bad, because, good stuff happens as well. So with that, it's just some food for thought, I guess. So with that, I'll say thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time.